Coach Cabbage, this is fine. Well, 'twas a day, 3:42. Just getting there, 'twas up in the evening. Coach Cabbage had something. Had a perm for you. And what it is, whew, think I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone or something like that. Or whatever it is. Throw me some CDs. I done got good at CD chunking. Put you an edge on the CD and chunk that sucker like a chunking star. No. Coach Cabbage here to talk to you about something interesting. And what it was. Now I'm going to try to wake it in this with this first thing that said Perm. The Uguru. Yeah, it ain't coming from me, sucker. I think it's done got you. Anyway, the Uguru. Got one on me. Right here. Closer to me heart. Because the heart's on the other side. So I don't know what to say. Anyway, Coach Cabbage. Got the Perm. That's the old gray-haired granny. With hog mark and long ears. Oh, them chickens, they will not stop that. And then Coach Cabbage, you can see Coach Cabbage is quite unhappy at that point in his life. Because he done been, well, anyway, that's what it was. But this here Perm about the gray-haired granny. And the Uguru. Coach Cabbage, when you put me together, I'm the Divine Johnson. Because Daddy Dangle, he was the Divine and the mom was the Johnson. So, oh, hell, they flying already. I'm not sure about all that. Why do you take them 1s and 0s? Can't you just leave them alone? Anyway, we got the Perm. See if Coach Cat. Oh, hell, one part there. I'm glad to see that sucker is sticking it off. Because it was. It's about the old gray-haired granny with a hog mark and the long ears. You know that hog mark? You know what that is, right? It's a Louisiana woman, a Mississippi man. That's the daddy and the mama. And Coach Cabbage was met in the middle. Here's the Perm. There was actually sort of a song that goes with it, but I can't remember it since I wrote it, so I just sort of see if I can get it out of here. I was raised by a lady with a hog mark and long ears. Wasn't much to look at. Eyes are gray like gun steel. People tried to harm her fishnets and banty meals. They just got to buck. 1 hand, 1 leg. That was Seal. She was one tough character. Taught me all she knowed. From the river to the bayou. Skinning all that you'd growed. Don't you let them... Oh, don't you let them bad girls get you behind that tree. Remember what your old gray-haired granny said. Why you sitting on her knee? This is what the old gray-haired granny said. A ring in the nose, the hall green grows. Pull you here and there, sometimes up, sometimes down, emotional despair. When you listen to a woman, you pull out all your hair. Just want to tell you, young'un, Christmases ain't all that fair. It's all I can leave you to you in life. All is what it says. All I can leave you is a life without a chain. Learn to cook and clean and all in between and change your underwear. If you find a woman and want her for a wife, remember where your nuts is at and don't let her near a vase. And that's what I say. And that's what the old gray-haired granny. And I believe it. I believe everything that a woman, the woman with the hog mark is saying to me. You are Arnold Stutz. That's who she was. Born 1889. And she taught me well. But one flaw in the ointment. 407. One flaw in the ointment. There's all the stuff. All the photographes. All the ghosts. And the Uguru. The Uguru. It may be coming from me, but it's going to get you, sucker. Anyway, let me tell you about the Uguru. Now, Coach Cabbage, when I was a little boy, I'd go out there and I'd run around at night, run around in the evening. And hell, I started to feel like a werewolf. And I'd go out there and go, ooh, I'd howl. That's all Gilligan. And he said, I'm a lone wolf. And I realized Coach Cabbage was very much a lone wolf too. But not a lone wolf, a vessel waiting to be filled. That's why I was so scared about the whole thing. Coach Cabbage did not know nothing about this. And next thing you know, well, hell, they get you on the witching the boards. And then you start talking to these here things. And that's what they do. They inhabit you. And then Coach Kevin, they told you about the story about digging the hole. The whole family digging it. It did. Even old Daddy Dangle, he'd come by, and he didn't come by very often. But you know, these here families that know this here kind of stuff, they sort of stick together. I guess that's what it is. All this here time, we asking, how'd you get over here? And I said, well, hell, we's pirates. We's pirates, and we's coming down the river, and something happened, and we buried some stuff, and you can dig it up, and that's what we did. But anyway, yeah, just last year, 2 weeks ago, Coach Kevin checked it out on the name that was given to me, and I found out that the name that the Ouija board gave to see a little old 7, 8 year old boy, this Coach Kevin, looking at him, was actually real pirates. It's a real thing. It's called the wolf pirates. Anyway, they inhabited the boot down there back in the day. And hell, apparently they met them bad end up there somewhere. Or however they got there. Because Coach Catfish would have never, ever just come up with something like that on my own. And I waited over 50 years to look it up. This is a scary thing. Guys, when the Uguru is out and about, you don't have to be a full moon. The Uguru is just looking for whatever. Well, it's sort of like the insanity of the spoon. Crazy, y'all. This scary stuff. I done met the Uguru. You done seen the Uguru. I did not know that's what it was. But back in the boot, they come after the bad people and the children and stuff. That's why they would stay in and not do bad things. The Uguru is worse than the Boudreaux. Anyway, Coach Kevin down here. I figured them two things would just go together. Oh, the people. She had the steel gray eyes. Not much to look at. The sucker, she'd have popped you a new one. That buck I was talking about was buckshot. Anyway, Coach Kevin down here. I'll tell you all the story sometime. Oh, I gotta get busy. I got chickens to feed and pussycats to feed and my own faces feed. Coach Kevin's out. The Uguru. Ooh, that's what I was called. Ooh, guru. So I sound like a howl. Arr. Coach Kevin's figured I better tell you. I keep on thinking I'm seeing this nice Sasquatch. They just come by. They're so fast. Anyway, the Uguru. You know, you hear the doves out there when doves cry. That purple man, full sucker, with the eye guitar. You know, that's an eye horse. Anyway, what it was is the Uguru thing, and we asked it how you creature, what it was, whatever it is, how you got there. Well, what it said is the old aunt. That aunt next door, where I lived, had this here thing inhabiting the house. She say, well, what it said is that thing over there, and what it was an iron. It was an iron. It was an iron that came out of old mansion from over Mississippi, because all my other side of my family, the old dad Dangle, is over from the Mississippi, and this here iron thing. It's like iron, like an iron with. It's the kind that you put in the fire, and you know it's back in the day. This is cheap. Is a poor people iron, and you put it in the fire, and it get hot. Or put it in the fireplace, whatever, and do your stuff. And it said, well, hell, it had inhabited that thing. And then when the ant got it, it like traveled. It traveled. It traveled. Anyway, that's one of the things. The thing said, how it got there. I'm just telling you what went on. And anyway, I always accepted that. Like, you just don't pick up stuff from somewhere and bring it home. Because, hell, you could have an Uguru, some kind of thing inhabiting in it spiritually. You just never know. That's why we're not supposed to be picking up this stuff anywhere. Yeah, because it was out. Oh, hell, that was too long. Too One more thing. Anyway, this is all about the same thing. You talking about ghost stories, sir? I went on looked on Google Earth, and let's see, all but one house of the families that I come from. Well, hell, they've been burnt down or something. Something bad happened, and the property is just cleared off. But there's somebody re-inhabiting down there by the railroad track. And anyway, there's still a couple of trees left back before they mowed them down. And you look up in the trees. And I'll put the photo in here. And you look up there in that tree. You can see something sitting there. I hope the hell it stayed there. Yeah. The Uguru. That's why it's called Uguru.